This conference will now be recorded.
So in the past class or the yesterday's class, we have created Maruti, which was my final product, and then we have created the engine. So we are going with the lot size. I told I'll maintain the backflush, but I got some issue, but I will maintain right now. Okay. So I can see only 2 products are created. We have to create more. So we'll go with create material. So now churches, we need to create copy. It would be mechanical engineering falling under raw materials, and then we can copy from churches, Thar or Scorpio. So as we have discussed yesterday, most of the things. So we'll go quickly so that we can have our material master and master data created. So this will become my fixed lot size. If you notice, this is EX, which is lot for lot, and this is fixed lot. So we'll understand during execution how my lot and lot for lot will behave and what will be my fixed lot, how they will behave with MRP. We'll see that. Okay. And we are maintaining fixed lot size of 20. That means if I am creating a order quantity of 100 on my finished product, then I would need 1:1 ratio. So ideally, I should be getting one purchase requisition for 100 quantity, but as this would be my fixed lot, we'll get 20 eaches. So it will be 5 purchase requisitions for 20 each. So that will be a lot of purchase requisition will make 50. Okay, so 2 purchase requisitions will be created on this. And what if I make 60? And so ideally to meet my requirement, it would need 100, but if I maintain 60, it would be 120. It will be creating 60 plus 60, and then it is increasing my surplus by 20 quantity, which will be further used in the next orders. Okay, so that's how the fixed lot quantity will not actually see the quantity, but it will try to see the lot size what you have maintained over here. So we'll remove the backflush as we discussed. So we'll make it as a non-backflush. This is yes. This is no. This is no. Yes. And yes. Okay. So I have removed my backflush. Storage location is available. Planned delivery time 1 day. Strategy group will be blank. I mentioned it will be driven by the finished product. So churches is saved. One thing also we need to notice, so we'll be creating the operation and we'll be breaking this into 2. Okay, so we'll be having 3 operations. The first operation will say install engine and changes. Okay, and if we are saying yes and no, that means one product will be backflushed and another product will be not. So in that case, it will not look good. So what I'll do is I'll make yes, yes, no, no, and then yes. Okay, in this case, it will be better. So I'll just update the changes once again. Okay, so this is updated. We'll refresh and see all the screens. Now we need to create the windshield. Raw materials. So I'll make this as default setting for now because we are going to do the repetitive steps. So it will automatically be 171C automatically. So as per this, this is HB and VB. Okay. So HB is maximum stock level and VB is reorder point planning. So here you can see I have used MRP type VB, reorder point planning, and we have given a reorder point that is 100 quantities. So this is a new product, right? So initially the stock will be zero itself. So as soon as I create a demand on this and run MRP, what will happen? It will create me a order of this particular quantity. So my stock is falling below 100 because it is zero as a new product. So what system understands, if it is falling below 100, make a purchase requisition of this quantity, maximum stock level, and it will check my lot size as HB, and what it says, replenish to maximum stock level, and that's why this particular entry has to be provided if we are going with this particular combination. We are removing backflush. So next is tires, and here we are going to use PK. So what is PK? First of all, I need to explain you that, okay, and then only you can understand how it behaves. So I'll assign it and then we'll go in the configuration because that's a configuration for lot size of planning calendar. So here we are using PD. Okay, here we are using PD and PK. So PD is my MRP type and PK is my lot sizing procedure, which says period lot size according to my planning calendar. Okay, so whenever we are using this, then we need to use the planning cycle. Okay, so what is a planning cycle? It is a configuration through which we make an entry that on what days in a month or in a week my vendor will be supplying the product to me. Okay, so we have a requirement. Suppose we have a requirement that my client says that I cannot put a warehouse person every day at my storage location to verify the stocks coming from the vendor. So we'll decide 1 or 2 days in a week for a particular month or every month that on this particular day vendor will supply the goods and I'll put a person to verify those stocks, and then we'll do the entry in the system, right? So how to manage that particular entry? Because if you do not use planning calendar, what will happen? As per my requirement, your purchase requisitions will be created here and there. It will not define any particular day. Whenever requirement is there, it will create a requisition and vendor has to supply. Okay, so that's why we have created 17(1)(c). So where is the configuration? If I go to SPRO, under the production, under the material requirement planning, this would be lot sizing procedure, planning calendar. Mhm. Yeah. So under the master data, okay. So first of all, we go to the production, then go to the material requirement planning, then go to master data, and here you have maintain planning calendar. Okay. So once we go inside, we already have a planning calendar created as 17(1)(c). So we'll go in the change. And here we have 3 planning calendars which are created, and this is created for the testing purpose only. Okay, and we have used different days. So the last time I have used was TST. Right now I'm showing you 17(1)(c). So I think we can go with TST also. It was working fine. So what exactly a planning calendar says? It says that I am using a monthly planning calendar. Okay. So on this particular month, it is showing as 1 to 9, which is Monday or Sunday to Saturday. And here you are able to choose the weekday. Okay. So here you can see the number of days it is coming up here. And you are choosing 1 day or 2 days in a month according to your selection here. So I'm saying Monday and Thursday, I'll be receiving the products from the vendor. Okay, and what are the dates which is falling on Monday and Thursday? I can go by my calendar or I can go to periods here. Then here you can see my month is what right now? August, right? So these are the 2 days which is already being decided by the planning calendar, which is already passed. Okay, in this case, what we need to do, my requirements will be created in the back date, which is not allowed by the system. So we have to enter something in the month of September in the advance. So we will see that system will create me a purchase acquisition on 1st of September and then 5th of September. If I give the planning as in PIR in my September month and then we run MRP, then what will happen? System will try to create a requisition on this dates. Okay. And why I'm saying I cannot or I can actually create the demand on this particular month, right? So usually what happens in the business, they will try to enter the forecast 1 month prior or on the day one, that okay, this is what I need to produce. They will not go with if they are planning monthly, they will not try to enter something in the mid month. So right now we are already in the mid month, right? If I have a weekly plan, then I would maybe enter on this particular week which is coming up from Monday onwards. Then for that I would need not a monthly planning calendar, I would need a weekly planning calendar. Okay, so let me show you how to create a planning calendar. So VKL. So VKL, I'm saying weekly planning calendar. Okay, press enter. So minimum period, do not give anything. And here you have start of a period, not a working day. So what will happen? So today, Saturday, as per my planning calendar, it is a non-working day, right? So if you um, place anything on a non-working day, like a demand, what should system do? It should not displace. That means it should not move to a new day or a previous working day. If you want to move it to a following working day, if I choose this, what will happen? My demands, if it was supposed to create on this date, I'm talking about purchase requisition, not my plan orders. If my purchase requisition was supposed to create on today's date or Sunday, what will happen? System will move that to my Monday because that's my following working day. If I choose this option, what will happen? It will move the purchase requisitions on Friday's date. That okay, you get it on Friday only. But if you're supposed to start on Monday, okay. Now, no new period. That means it will not propose you any new periods. So these are my few selections which I can give to my planning calendar, and according to this, MRP will decide when to create a purchase requisition. So after this, you have to click on periods. Okay. Okay, let me say that periods will be automatically calculated. I won't give manually. Do you want to end the maintenance? Yes. Weekly. Press enter. Now, once we press enter, it will ask me that what do you want? Do you want a monthly planning calendar, which is weekdays? Do you want to create a monthly planning calendar for only work days, year, work days, weekdays, and weeks? Okay, so if I'm saying weekday, here it will ask me to choose a weekday. So we'll say Mondays and Wednesdays. We need to choose twice. Mondays and Wednesdays. Press enter. Now it is asking me from which date you want to start. All right, and it will give you 1 year of data. So I can start with January also. That is not an issue. Those will be automatically considered. So right now, what is my month? August. Go down. So for my August month, these are the dates which system has proposed me. Okay. So if anything is created, like a demand has been created on a weekly basis, then system will try to create purchase requisition on 10th, 15th, 17th, 22, 24, 29. Okay. And if you open this, you can see it is all falling on Monday and Wednesdays. 15th 8, I have it here. The next is 17th. Okay. Starting from 3rd, let us. So my first Monday is over here. So my August month, Monday is falling on 1st, so my first date is there. Then Wednesday, you can see 3rd is there. Again, you go back, 8th is there, and then again 10th is there. Again, you go 15th, 17th, 22, 24, and then we have 29, and 31st is also there. Understand how my system plans automatically based upon my selection. If I say monthly and I give the dates, so only on those dates in that particular month, it will give me the demand. So I'll save this weekly calendar as well. Okay. So if I am using this weekly calendar in my tires, then I cannot say that I'm giving monthly demand. Okay, that is a contradictory thing. Then I need to give a demand on a weekly basis, which is also having the option. So we'll go with TST. Let me see. Panning cycle TST. Press enter. And then again under the scheduling, because system has to schedule your dates. So that's why under scheduling, you need to give planning calendar again. So I'm giving TST here. So strategy group will be blank as we discussed. Then we save it. And then my last product, sunroof. So here we have PD and EX, the very first combination where we have used for engine. So I'm not sure if I removed backflush, but we can verify that. And this is having backflush. So on this backflush is removed, windshield. Yeah, it is already gone. So we are done with my material master. Okay. And we have done the backflush as well. And we have the very first option. We maintain this as staging, right? Let me see. So I have this MMSC transaction, okay, to check my material versus the storage location, which are already extended to that. Let us see if my storage location is there. So I only have 17.1C. So because we have maintained 17.1B as well over there, I need to extend my location. Then only I can perform the staging part. Okay, so this is done. And rest of the products are not staged. So we are only talking about engine. So we can cover that particular part. Now the next thing that we need to go and start is work center. Okay. So work center and BOM is something that does not have a dependency. Work center does not have at all no dependency, not even for the material master. BOM does have dependency of material master, because to add the components, my components should be created first. Okay. And for routing, I have dependency that BOM should be there, my work center should be there. So this will be created at the end. Okay. So now I can start with my work center.
Harish, I have one
Yeah.
question. In interview, maybe they will ask which MRP type you use in your
Hmm.
project. So
Hmm.
that time you have to tell two only, or what will be the answer?
So you can break it down. Okay, so you can say that for raw materials, for few materials we have used PK also, because if you say this PK, very few consultants I have seen they can answer this question. Okay, so if you can answer PK, planning calendar, it will definitely add points to your interview. And then EX everyone can say. Try to use VB also. So you can say that I had a few materials which were very less cost materials. So VB and HB combination, which is consumption based planning, is used for the materials which are of a low cost. Say for example, nuts and bolts. Okay, nuts and
Okay,
bolts, you will not calculate them, or you will not go to the vendor and say, give me 12 nuts and bolts, right? You will always buy in bulk. So things which you are buying in bulk and of a low cost can be used as a VB, consumption based planning, because you are consuming and you are giving some reorder point there, that always maintain this much stock. All right.
okay,
So you have to make a story on that, okay, nuts and bolts I was using in my product, or any product. For example, you would know your project, and you would have to think that which product I can use as VB and which products I can use as PK. So two things definitely answer this. Say I was using PK for these many products, I was using VB for these many products, and for the finished products we have used PD and EX, and few products was also FX.
okay, okay. Yeah, thank you.
So we are into work
And
centers.
how
Yeah.
we decide which combination we have to use based on the product you are manufacturing, or what will be the answer?
See, this answer will be given to you by the clients. Okay, so we have to ask the clients, as in what products you are using. First of all, we will get to know the products, and we will get to know the components used in those products. Okay, and then we need to ask them which are the products which are of a low cost, and then we need to say, okay, in SAP we have the consumption based planning, that you can put it on your low cost materials which you always want in bulk. Okay, so in my project I was into ceramics manufacturing. Okay, they were manufacturing the pots and sanitary wares and everything. So for them, material which was of a low cost and in bulk was clay. So from clay they are making tiles, from clay they are making sanitary ware. Everything is depending upon the clay. So we have maintained VB for the clay, and we have maintained in the tons, that every time 100 tons should be available in my stock, because I cannot wait for my that basic product without which I cannot start my production. So nuts and bolts are also something which is very commonly used. Every time it is used in most of the projects, right? So
Mhm.
that's how you have to decide that which product you have to use. Usually the very commonly combination is PD and EX. Okay, sometimes they will say that vendor has given me a contract that I cannot give you any quantity lesser than this, lesser than X quantity. Okay, then what is my X? X becomes a fixed quantity that I need to buy 100 pieces every time. He cannot give me whenever I would need 50 quantities or 60 quantities. He will only send me 100 and 200s and 300s, like that. Maybe a pack they cannot break the pack, or they cannot open the pack, right? In this case, what you need to do, you need to use fixed lot size, that I cannot order in pieces. I need to always buy in packs, and pack would be 100 pieces.
Okay.
Okay.
So the type decided by client only. We are not
Client.
authorized to decide.
Correct. So we need to check with the client by asking these questions during the workshops. That is your product coming in can you buy from pieces as well? Okay. Or is it something that vendor is saying, no, I can send you only these many quantities, then only I can take your order. Based on those things, then we need to decide that what MRP type and what lot size we can give it to those materials. If it has to plan by MRP, if it does not has to plan by MRP, if they are doing manually, then there is no issue at all. You can just mark it as ND, no planning.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. So we are going to create work center. So what did we decide? Maruti 1 and Maruti 2. Okay. Work center category, we need to choose. So we have spoken about machine. We have spoken about labor. Okay, somebody has created some other group as well. Maybe someone from my previous batch. Okay, so machine and labor is something that we are going to create right now. Center. Here we can give work center 1 for Breeza. Okay. Person responsible. So who will be responsible for the work center activities? Here, any questions? Okay. So we have already created a person responsible, which was ATL usage. So this particular work center you are using in routings, you are using in master SAP, or where exactly? So you need to give the usage. So we are going to use it in my routings. So we are going to use 001. And here also we have backflush. If you notice, then how this works. So whenever this particular work center will be assigned in my operations, and I say that my operation is done, and I want those components which are assigned in my operations to get backflush, I can use this. Okay. Provided in the material master, I have given, it will not directly work. Okay, if you just remove the backflush from your material master, which was 1, and you think I can maintain it here and it should work, it will not work. Then what we need to do, instead of 1, we need to choose this. Work center decides whether to backflush or not. If we are using number 2 here and we are maintaining backflush here, then only this particular backflush activity will work with work center. If I have marked a tick mark here, assigned, and then we are testing, it will not work. It will have to maintain 2 here. Okay. Standard value key. So we have decided that we'll go with SAP 1, and we have different parameters here, which is setup, machine, and labor cost, right? So this was my parameters. Under the work center, we discussed this was my configuration, standard value key. And how many parameters I can assign in one standard value key? This is the
6.
interview question. Great. So if you answer 6, that means you are right. Then go to default values. And here I can default my control key, my standard text, and suitability is not part of me. So standard value, control key and standard text key is something which is part of my operations, okay, in part of my routing. I can maintain it manually there, or if I want things to be copied automatically from my work center, I can maintain these two places, okay. Usually we do not do it here. We try to maintain it in the routing itself. What we try to do instead is we try to maintain the units of these setup, machine and labor. So we try to capture it in machine minutes. If it is if the client says that I have setup time in lesser than 1 hour, okay, then you will have to convert that 1 hour as 0.5 or 0.3, like that. It's better that you maintain it in minutes, so you can directly give 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 60 minutes, like that. Now
No, basic
capacity,
data we are not
yeah.
maintaining the downside standard value key something basic data.
Where?
Basic data.
No, no, no,
Downside.
we are not. No, no, we are not maintaining anything here. We just give standard value key here, and then the maintenance will come in my routing. So what is the
Okay.
time that we are going to maintain for setup? What is the time we are going to maintain for machine and labor will be part of my routing, because that's where I'm doing operations. Here I'm just maintaining the data. Operations are happening where? In the routing.
Okay.
So now we are into the capacities part. Okay, capacities and scheduling is the important part along with costing. Okay, if we maintain everything, but we do not maintain the costing tab properly, then again, everything will be a waste. So capacity categories, we are using this work center as a machine, so we'll maintain it as a machine here. And I do have option of maintaining machine and labor in one work center also. Okay, I can give it. However, when we have machine and labor separately, we want to calculate them separately, I can create two separate work centers. That's what I have planned here. So right now I'll just change it. This is machine we are creating first, and then labor. Okay, so we are going to maintain individual capacity for each work center.
So we are not maintaining in one shot like machine and labor. We are not maintaining in one shot in this.
Right, yeah, right. We are not maintaining like that. We can, but only the capacity part is captured in one go or in one shot. Okay. If you go to scheduling, I will not have scheduling of machine and labor individually. I can only give one. Okay. If I go here in scheduling, I can give only, okay, it has taken me inside. Well, let us maintain this and then I'll tell you why we are maintaining two.
Okay.
So capacity responsible person, we are maintaining as 001. This is again configurable. If you want to give your name, you can also configure under the work center notes. So we spoke about factory calendar in my first class, and then we have factory calendar here as well, right? So if my factory calendar is assigned on a plant level, then it will be applicable for all the work centers and it will be applicable for everything. Okay, like plan orders, purchase orders, everything. But if I give a factory calendar here, this will be applicable for this particular work center and wherever this is assigned in the routing, right? So if your requirement is not at a plant level, the factory calendar requirement is not at a plant level, then you can always assign it at a work center level also. So I can ignore this right now. Capacity base unit. So we are capturing in hours. Okay, there I have maintained minutes in the basic data because the setup time, machine time, labor time, I'm trying to capture in minutes because it could be lesser than an hour also. But here, when I'm starting my job, I'm saying I have worked for 8 hours, right? That's my working hours. So I cannot say minutes here. That's why I'm maintaining hours. So I will start my work at 8 o'clock. So this is being what? This is machine, right? Yeah. So my machine, because my operator will come at 8 o'clock, he will start my machine. So I'm giving my start time at 8 o'clock. And then this will go up to 17. Okay. And machine, if I want to give any break because it's becoming hot, I want to give some break, I can add a break here. Usually we do not add a break for the machine. We give a break for the labor. And then what is this? Utilization. So how much utilization I'm getting from this particular machine. If it's a new machine, no breakdowns, then it will be always 100%. If it's an older machine, I would have to see the maintenance or sometime it breaks down. I know during the process, then I would say, okay, it works 90%. It gives me the 90% of utilization. Again, this data has to come from the client, not from us. Okay. How many machines are available in that particular location? Is it one machine? Is it two machines? Okay. Then according to that, you have to maintain data here. So if I say one right now, we'll come back again in the screen because it will go out. So relevant to finite scheduling, we have seen this in my configuration as well, that if I say infinite, that means my machine is always available. It will not consider this particular time or my factory calendar. That means always available. So whenever I schedule some order, it will not give me the capacity constraint. But if I say relevant to finite scheduling, this working hours will be considered for me and my factory calendar will be also considered for me. Can be used by several operations. So if I assign this work center to more than one work center, will it be allowed? Yes, it can be used. And overload, if you want to overload the machine or if you want to give the overtime to a labor, that is again falling under the overload bucket, then you can maintain some percentage here. So again, client has to give you this data. Is there any overload or any overtime going on with the labors? Accordingly, percentage they can maintain. So I'll go back. So see, scheduling, I can maintain only one category. So if I'm saying machine, I can schedule only machine here. But my capacity, I can give machine and labor both. So that's why we have to create two different work centers.
So at a time, they not combine the scheduling with respect to the machine and labor.
I'm sorry, I did not get your question.
Suppose I want to do the scheduling of man and machine, then is it not possible to add the both of the things in capacities, and that should be reflected in the scheduling? And is there any use? No.
So see, I cannot, to answer your question, yes, I cannot do that because scheduling tab here will take only one category. Okay, either I can give machine, either I can give person, and in different other scenarios I can choose that. Okay, if I am saying machine, my capacity of that particular machine will be picked from here and capacity of labor will be picked up from here. But to schedule the orders, okay, so this particular work center will go where? It will go to my works operation. Okay, so I'm saying operation install the stitches and engine for my car, right? And here I'm giving work center 1. So who is working on that? My machine, my labor, they both are working. Okay, so for that, capacity will be picked up. If my labor is available or he's working on more than 2 cars or 3 cars, he cannot work on that particular operation. So operation again will have base quantity, which we will see in the routing. Okay,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
scheduling is something that I'm doing for that particular operation where my work center is assigned. Capacity is something different, scheduling is something different. Scheduling is of the dates.
Okay. Okay. So in the capacities, we are maintaining at a time only one to see the capacity of the particular things like a machine and labor. You cannot assign two at a time.
In the scheduling, we cannot assign two at a time. Capacities we can do, but what I have seen, they maintain individually.
Okay. So 99%, any project we are maintaining separately.
Correct. Capacity category, so I can choose machine because this is of machine category. And then I wanted to go back in capacity and I need to give the formula as well, else it will not take. So if I go to capacity, I showed you one machine. Okay, so if I'm saying there are two machines, if I press enter, my capacity will increase here. Okay, if I'm saying that three machines are there and all three can work, so my capacities will be increased. So we'll go with one right now. And then we need to give the setup formula. So here for this particular machine, if you are doing setup, okay, and you are also capturing process, then you can give two formulas here. Okay, so both the entries we will need to give during the routing. Okay, I'll show you how. So we are going with setup time. So just scroll a little up. Here, if you notice, we have two different formulas, one with setup requirements and again one on the top which says setup time. Okay, so this particular formula will go in the capacity. The reason behind I showed you during the configuration. If you click on the formula, this work center requirements has to be there. So the words which is entering like ending with requirements will be used in my formula. If you notice, scheduling is not allowed here. So this is dedicated formula for my capacity only. And the other formula which has time, this has scheduling check mark but does not have a work center check mark. Okay, so we'll have to use that formula in the scheduling. So we have given setup requirements and then machine requirements. Okay, so for the processing of the machine, I'm capturing using SAP 006. And if I go to scheduling, I'm giving the category as machine. And then here I need to maintain the formula, the execution time. And this particular formula will come in setup. Processing will be machine time. And if I click here and I go to the formula, here you can see scheduling is allowed, but this is unchecked. And costing is allowed for all the formulas. So in the costing tab, I can use either of the formulas. It will look into this particular check mark. So this is maintained, go in the costing. So during the interview questions, this is a very major question that tell me the integration between PP and FI. Okay, finance and PP. So where do you start with? So this is the point where we have to start with. Okay, so from PP point of view, we have work centers. In the work center, we have a costing tab. In the costing tab, what we have a relation of a cost center, which is provided by the finance team. Okay, so once we assign the cost center, we'll go one by one. moving very fast. So here I have manufacturing 1 and manufacturing 2, which is standard SAP cost centers. Okay. In real-time projects, this will be created by the finance team or the costing team and will be provided to you when we are creating this master data. Okay. Without the cost center, do not go and create the work centers. They will ask you that we will give you later on. Say whenever you give, we will start. Okay. So don't listen about that, because this has impact. So once you have given the cost center, this is one step, the integration. And then under the activity type, this activity type is again provided by the finance team. They have to give you activity types. So what is activity type? If you say this answer, you enter the cost center, which is provided by the finance team, give the activity types given by the finance team. Then the next question from the panel will come that what do you mean by activity types? Why are we putting this? So any thoughts why we are giving this?
Maybe cost added to that activity type.
That is correct. So in the activity type, we have the per hour rate, which is defined. And the transaction code is KP26, which I'll show you. So we are giving machine and we are giving labor.
So that activity type we don't want to configure. PP side there is no any configuration.
No, nothing. We just
So
need to assign.
one question that FI and CO person both are same, no?
Depends. So finance guy and CO guy can be different also. Okay, and it can be same person also if he has knowledge. So just like PP and QM. Okay, so in PP, I know little bit of QM, then I can handle both the requirements. So similar to that, there are dedicated costing nodes. Okay, costing configurations are different and finance configurations are different. So if that person has both experience, he can handle both. If it does not have, then two-person has to be there.
Okay, the basically answer if any interviewer ask the maintenance of this cost and all these things, who is doing that time you tell the finance person is available only to do all this
Yeah,
activity.
just a finance guy. Yeah. Okay, so again here, if the requirement is only to capture setup and labor, no machine, or any vice versa. Okay, if you do not want to capture all three, so they will say, the client may say that okay, setup we are doing, but we do not want to capture the hours. Okay, because we are paying him in the labor itself, right? So the labor agreement will be like that: you work for 8 hours, you do setup, you do everything, we'll pay you this much amount. Then we do not want to capture setup time again, because setup time is also having hours, right? Hour per hour rate. So how it is defined? So we can do KP26. So I'm showing you the hour rate. Okay, again, these activities are defined in a different transaction, which I'm not able to recall right now. I think it was KP11 or something. So there you can define setup, machine, and the labor activities. And this is under the activity, how we can define the hours. So the version will be 0, which is active version. Period again depends upon the client. They are doing quarterly or they are maintaining annually. So I'm going with annually. Fiscal year 2022. Cost center, what we have used here. And then the activity type we are using here. So right now it is 3. We'll go with 3. And here you're giving fixed price of $10 per hour. Okay, so once you have given this, then as soon as you assign in the costing tab, okay, and when we do a cost estimate, this $10 will be picked up for that particular operation. So say for operation you are saying 60 minutes, like 1 hour I am doing setup, so you have to pay $10 according to your setup. what you are doing here. And if you're saying 2 hours of a setup time, then it becomes $20. So how system decides $20, $30, or $15 or whatever amount when we are doing the standard cost estimate? Okay, standard cost estimate will take the raw material price, the operation time. From the operation time, it will check the activity types, and then it will give you the product price, that okay, to make one car I'm spending so much time, these are my operations, this is my raw material cost, and this should be my cost of a car. So that's how the manufacturer say 11 lakhs or 12 lakhs based upon different variants, right? If I'm giving the top end variant, I'm installing more components there. I'm giving stereo, I'm giving speakers, sunroof, everything I'm giving, so I'm charging more. That's how it is planned. So we'll finish it off. We are almost at 8:30, and then we have to mention the unit also. Yeah.
Harsh, right now we are maintaining for the machine only, but why we are maintaining the activity type for labor?
So right, that's what I'm saying. If I want to capture, okay, you are correct. So this is of machine, then I can remove labor. Okay. So thanks for reminding. I can remove labor. I can say only machine and setup of machine. It has to be captured. Even if setup is not required, I can remove it. So when we have assigned this particular work center in my operation, only this machine will be activated where I need to give my hours or minutes. Okay. So if you want, I can remove this setup also. So totally depending upon the client, and yes, on the work center category. If I'm maintaining machine, I'll maintain machine hours. If I'm maintaining labor, I'll maintain labor hours. And then give my unit, and then it can be minutes, and of course formula has to be there, else it will not capture it. Okay, so this is how your integration between PP and finance starts from the very first place: cost center, activity types, and the formula. Do not forget to say the formula also, else your marks will be cut or your answer will be partially correct.
So there also in capacity also we are maintaining the formula, na? And
So
costing also.
formula, so each formula has a different check marks which I showed you, right? Scheduling has a scheduling check mark, capacity has a capacity check mark, and costing has a costing check mark. So this has a check mark on the costing also.
Okay.
So here you can save it. Right, so we'll copy, not this, we'll make a new work center on Tuesday, okay, directly. So mostly we have discussed, we'll go quickly on this, and then we'll finish it off with BOM and routing, and then we can execute if time allows on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine, guys. Thank you so much for your time on Saturday. We'll meet on Tuesday now.
Thank you, Harsh.
Thank you.